Welcome back, guys, to day 2 and day 3 of CES 2019. Now, I'm Ben from AuthenTech, and in this video, I'll show you all the future trends and tech that I saw with drones, electric scooters, cameras, and more. Also, I got to talk with Sean from Think Media, so stay tuned for that interview. Huge thanks to Zendure for sponsoring this video. They've been creating power banks, wall chargers, travel adapters, and more since 2013, and at CES, they announced 6 new products. I got to meet up with those guys, and I learned a ton about PD or power delivery, and they're on the forefront of that technology. First up is Zendure's A8 PD Pro, a massive 26,800 mAh power bank with up to 138 watt output, 4 USB ports, 2 of which are USB-C. It's durable and surprisingly portable for its massive capacity. SuperHub is an easy upgrade for your computer, featuring a 60-watt USB-C power delivery, HDMI output, and wireless charging, which I personally love using on my phone. Zendure is also releasing Mix, a mashup charger featuring 5,000 mAh of portable battery capacity, USB-C delivery, and an integrated AC plug for quick recharging. For more info and pricing, check them out at the link below. So first up, here are some of the drone trends that I saw at CES. There were lots and lots of the same old drones that we've seen for a little while. Same companies, same products, and that's sort of the theme at CES. Basically, there's so much noise going on that companies don't want to release a new product and get it lost amongst the noise. So before or after the show, often at their own private event, they'll announce a new product, and that's a common trend that we're seeing. Another major trend that I notice in the drone space, there's more and more getting into waterproofing technologies. These will be good for all weather scenarios, opening up the door for many more industries like fishing, hunting, search and rescue. Imagine lifeguards dropping life preservers right above the water. Swell Pro is one of the key players, and they have a couple sweet models I'm hoping to test. One is sort of like an FPV racing drone. It cruises fast, nimble flying, analog FPV feed, which is nice, yet fully waterproof, which is sweet. They also have a Phantom-like model with a modular camera system, 4K cameras, seen in the dark cameras, lots of cool stuff there. Speaking of underwater, there was another trend I noticed. There's more brands stepping into these water remote control submarine-like devices. These would be super fun to test in my lake, to go fishing, scuba diving remotely, and explore. There were a few VTOLs, or vertical takeoff and landing aircrafts. These give you the benefit of no runway needed, yet more efficient and longer flight times of fixed-winged aircraft. One drone gadget I saw was from Shift. It's a unique controller for flying quads, and I like to see companies experimenting in this space. Another up-and-coming drone company is Newbie Drone. They're producing these micro FPV racers, plus RTF kits with goggles and transmitter all included, nesting together at an affordable price point. This could be a fun review, so stay tuned for that. Jumping over to electric vehicles, it seemed everyone's trying to get into that e-vehicle game. There were sensors of all sizes and shapes placed in all different positions on the vehicles, all rushing to this driverless age. One big trend I noticed, there were a lot less electric scooters and rideables than 2 years ago. My best guess to that one is twofold. Thanks to Lime and other scooter sharing services, less people actually need to buy the scooters, and now they can just rent them. The other side of that coin is, thanks to those companies, more and more people are seeing the useful utility of electric scooters for that last mile. I'm hoping more and more people will adopt and purchase e-wheels for their personal transportation if it makes sense. Jetson had a few different scooters, one of which was a big-wheeled prototype. It looked fun. There were some off-roading futuristic wheelchairs, which looked neat. Segway 9bot was there, and there was some old stuff, but they also had a couple new scoots that caught my eye, like this electric dirt bike that looked crazy fun. And then this massive off-roading Segway. I just gotta get my hands on one someday. They also had their Z10 electric unicycle, which looks rad, but I hear it's sorta difficult to get it here in the States. Sorta in that electric rideable space, I saw a motorized smart suitcase that could follow you in and through the airport. That's fun to watch. Jumping over to cameras, there were some key players in the 360 space, one being my latest favorite, Insta360. Now, nothing new was announced, but I got to play around at their booth and it was hopping busy. More and more people are starting to see the potential for these 360 cams. And remember, it's less about VR and more about shooting everything around you and then later reframing up your shot. If you haven't seen my latest Insta360 video, make sure you check it out. It was one of my favorites I've done in a while. There's some healthy competition like Views with a VR 3D 360 camera, sort of like a 2-in-1. On a quick side note, I feel like I saw quite a bit of 3D stuff at CES and I can't figure it out. Didn't we try 3D movies and TVs a while ago and it didn't work out? And remember that old Amazon Fire phone that basically fell short? And then that new Red Hydrogen 1 holographic phone that never really caught on. Most reviews said it was pretty lame and gimmicky. So why is 3D making a comeback? Leave me your thoughts down in the comments. Maybe I'll do a deep dive in a future video. Another fading trend, in my opinion, are gimbals. I feel like 3-axis motors are sort of a band-aid to that stabilization problem. And I think we'll see some of these fade away as EIS gets better and better. Now, don't get me wrong, I think we're far from that day and gimbals are still needed for certain industries, but as for phone gimbals and action cameras, I think they're slowly fading away. There were lots of camera for tracking, some for business and different professional industry usage, and then others like this one proposing to be your one-man camera crew, auto-following your moves and action. Supposedly 4K at 120 FPS is pretty impressive. The thermal cameras from FLIR are always sweet, and check this out, you could see the hot spots on my phone from that camera module. That was cool. And then here's just some of the fun and miscellaneous crazy stuff that I ran into while I was there. It's almost like you're in a constant state of sensory overload. The bright lights, loud sounds, and then the irony of massage chair booths packed to the brim with people trying to catch a break. Virtual reality again seems to be slowly dying off. It wasn't as prominent this year around and I think it's fading away. I've always thought that the future is more augmented reality over VR. But then again, I want to hear from you guys. Do you actually enjoy VR or do you think it's sticking around long term? There was this guy I found taking his Osmo Pocket to a whole other level. There are a few new 49-inch insane ultra-wide curved monitors that could be a dream to video edit on. Maybe I'll get my hands on one of those down the road. Speaking of pixels, there were a lot of 8K TVs, which are always cool to see in person, but honestly we're quite a ways from wide adoption. Even 4K is slowly coming around. I saw that rollable LG OLED TV, which was pretty impressive. And I got a quick meetup with a big YouTuber. What's up guys, I'm with Sean from Think Media. Huge thanks for meeting with me, man. It was great meeting you finally.
Dude, pumped to be here.
Have a couple questions for him. First up, we're at CES 2019. What's one of the coolest tech gadgets or products that you've seen?
Yeah, there's a couple of cool ones for me. The Elgato key lights are really awesome. Lights that clip to the back of your desk if you live stream from home, or if you even want to record YouTube videos sitting at a desk. It's hard to find lighting or softboxes that can be in small spaces. Right. So they clip on the back of the desk, super thin, very low heat, full range of color temperature that you can switch, very bright, and you can control them all on your computer. So they have Wi-Fi in them, so you don't have to stand up and turn them on or turn them off. They even work with the Elgato Stream Deck. That's one that really stood out to me, and those were over at the Sands, and we got to check those out.
That's awesome. What's one trend that you see maybe in the next 3 to 5 years that maybe you spotted here at CES? You're like, wow, this is going to be big in the next couple of years.
Yeah, you know, it's probably not me that spotted this, but I think mirrorless cameras. I mean, it's the mirrorless revolution. I remember the DSLR revolution. Yep. The 5D Mark II came out, and then the 7D, right? And that was the first one that I got, DSLR. And now, though, mirrorless is taking over. And so I think that as a trend, it's going to become the new established, leader. Sony's leading. Canon's got the R now, and that's kind of a little bit behind. Panasonic's got their announcements happening. But I was very impressed by Nikon. I haven't paid a lot of attention. Their cameras are serious.
One last question. What is one trend that maybe you saw a couple years ago that's starting to die, that you haven't seen as much here and might just be gone in the next couple years?
So I don't know if it'll die, but I think, the last couple years people said like VR, You know, even 360 video or 180 video, it's just gonna take over. It's gonna be everything. It's gonna be everywhere. And as YouTube creators, that just hasn't really been the case.
Right.
I think there's a lot of relevant use cases, but it by far is not fully taking over. I think workflows are kind of hard to adapt to, consuming the content. And again, sometimes at CES, people will be like, this is the future. You know, one other mention is Sharp announced an 8K camera at a prosumer level this year that might be sub $5,000, maybe $3,000, which is crazy because Red is like $50,000 to get 8K. But one of the guys I heard said, he said, like, this is the year of 8K, and I was like, no, it's not. 4K is just barely becoming mainstream now. So I think that sometimes we think these technologies will hit sooner than they actually will. But saying that, I mean, VR, AR, 360, of course it's going to take over. It just might take 10 to 20 years for it to be a little bit more mainstream.
That's awesome. Sean, thank you so much, buddy.
I appreciate you.
Seeing you, and see you again. So there you have it, some of the upcoming tech trends that I noticed at CES 2019. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you for watching. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing for more tech videos and reviews posted at least once or twice every week. Until next time, let's live AuthenTech.